Welcome to the Legislation Podcast and YouTube broadcast, Episode 3, House Bill 495, Virtual Credit Card Opt-outs, Protecting Dental Practices from Hidden Fees. We begin our episode right here.
If you've ever wondered why your insurance payments seem just a little lower than expected, this episode is for you.
Sorry if you see me laughing. It's not anything that we did before we started shooting this. It's just when I hear Tracy talk about this right off the bat, I have to laugh because this week we're talking about one of the sneakiest tactics that insurance companies have ever used. I'm just going to call it skimming money from providers, and it's called virtual credit cards.
And Utah became one of the first states in the nation to say no more.
Yeah, virtual credit cards sound convenient, right? But they're not. They were never designed for healthcare payments, and insurers love them because every time you run one, they make money through transaction fees, convenient fees.
And this is where it's interesting because these insurance companies save money by using the credit card, virtual credit card system, and yet we're paying more money out of pocket when it comes to these transactions. And this isn't a small fee. It could be anywhere from 2 to 5%. And that means if you're paid $10,000, oh gosh, $10,000 would be amazing with insurance payments. But for example,
I don't think we've ever had a
$10,000
payment,
in insurance payments, then you could lose a lot of money just in credit card fees. That money should stay in your practice.
What makes it worse is that many offices don't even realize that they can opt out, or they tried only to find themselves mysteriously back in the virtual credit card system a few months later, which happened to us.
Yep. We saw it happen everywhere. And for example, with us, offices would opt out, but then after 3 to 6 months, boom, you're automatically enrolled. What? And sometimes it was triggered by a team member accidentally putting through one virtual credit card and suddenly they're opted back in. It could be a time lapse of maybe 3 to 6 months, but ultimately all that work of calling to opt out goes right back to the credit cards again. It wasn't a choice, it was manipulation.
Totally.
Utah already had a law allowing dentists to opt out of credit cards. So it was already in the system, in law, in statute before 2025 this year. But insurance companies found loopholes, which is that automatic re-enrollment or ambiguous contract language and time limits that really made everything that we did meaningless. So all that time again put into making phone calls to opt out. In our case, we're in network with 27 insurance companies. I was not a happy person.
No, you weren't. Making
all these phone calls just to find out that we were opted back into those credit cards virtually.
So in 2025, you decided to close the loophole. Mm-hmm. And Utah passed House Bill 495, modeled after Arizona's success story. We copied Arizona. Mm-hmm. And this law makes it crystal clear. Once a dentist opts out, that decision stands until the dentist changes it in writing.
There is another section that states that it does change when there's a contract change that the doctor agrees with as well. It also states that tangible paper checks are an acceptable form of payment. Now for me, I love having these checks in front of me so I know the payments are there and I can run them through our check scanner at the office. So insurers can't strong arm offices into other things like EFTs or other methods that they prefer.
And it's really about putting the control back in the provider's hands. It's just simple, it's fair, it's transparent. That's what I like to call it.
Yeah. And to emphasize, in our own office and at my practice, my business, we like tangible checks. I like having that physical check in front of me. I like knowing that the funds are secure. I scan it right into the bank. It's really efficient and we're not paying a middleman to get paid.
Exactly. And it's not just about preference, it's about fairness. And insurers shouldn't get to profit from how they pay you. You earned that money, they didn't.
And this law helps dentists keep more of what they earn, and it's a little bit with these insurance companies, so every little bit helps. But more importantly, it reinforces a principle that convenience shouldn't come at the cost of integrity or lack of transparency.
Now here's the interesting part. This is actually one of the few Utah laws that did make did make a splash in the American Dental Association's legislative update, which kind of cracks me up because this isn't really one of the bigger laws.
I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
But it's progress, right? We actually got one of our laws mentioned in that publication. But it also raises the question, why are you not celebrating the other reforms? Why are you picking and choosing?
Exactly. There are so many laws that they positively affected dental practices and the patients that we serve. Laws, the ADA could be amplifying to help other states. Most of them never even make it into print. Why? And until somebody proves it otherwise to me, I'm just going to say I believe it's because Utah will not bend the knee to the American Dental Association's minimum loss ratio law or the dentist-hygienist compact ideologies. We're not going to do it. Hopefully we will never do it.
And that's where we come in. Our job is to share, educate, and empower, because the more people that know about this law, the more change we can inspire. Just like we took the Arizona law and saw it and wanted to model a section of our law after it, we want other states to do the same thing.
So Tracy, explain the problem in terms for, you speak office manager language better than I do. So tell the problem and what our solution was.
So in a nutshell, just like we talked about, virtual credit card payments by third-party payers means we're paying finance fees and ultimately hurts our bottom lines. Utah had passed a law before allowing offices to opt out, but there wasn't a section that addressed those automatic re-enrollments back into the credit cards. So the offices were constantly calling to opt out over and over and over again. And I didn't want to pay team members just to do the same thing. What's the same thing over and over again? What's that the definition of?
Insanity, right?
Yeah, it felt like we were a little crazy. So House Bill 495 will prohibit auto-enrollment into virtual credit cards once we've opted out. It also allows the dentist to request checks. So this law will allow us to opt out of all virtual payments through that particular third-party payer. Now, I would have loved to be able to pass a law that had us make one phone call to opt out of all virtual credit cards. But this law that we passed was for insurance regulation, not credit card company regulation. And so we do have to do this insurance company at a time to make sure that it's being done. But hey, it's better. We're doing good.
Better than nothing.
Better than what we had before.
Yeah.
So if you're a dentist outside of Utah, this is your chance to take control. I want you to share this episode with your state association executive director in leadership. I want you to reach out to your lawmakers. I want you to ask them why your state doesn't have a law like this if it doesn't already.
And if you're in Utah, celebrate this law. You helped lead the nation again. Be proud of that fact that you're part of a profession that values fairness.
My practice, my business, we are always here to help. We've always said that. Whether it's understanding the law, writing new policy, or explaining to national leaders why these reforms matter.
You can always reach out to us by phone or email. And of course, follow us on social media and subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel just to stay connected.
Together, in the state of Utah and beyond, we're making sure that every dentist in every state gets the fair treatment that they deserve.
You explained that perfectly, honey, and I really, it just really upsets me that they are going to take just like running a credit card, they're going to take a processing fee on charges that are already not profitable by procedure. So let's just keep taking a sliver more. I mean, it's brilliant business on their part, if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, they're saving a lot of money with those checks, right?
And they're making money on top of it with the virtual credit card.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And so for me, we're already taking a really steep hit. I'm not going to reduce that little profit margin, if anything, that these offices have. And so I love the fact that we were able to pass this uncontested in the state.
Well, thanks for being with us today, and we'll see you on episode 4. Till then, have a great day.